everyone, and welcome to today's reading. This is going to be your ancestral reading, okay? Now, I was just shuffling before going on camera, and a card fell out and landed in my lap. That happens to be the Magician. So, really right now the energy the collective is taking action. The collective is ambitious, and the collective is manifesting. And, you know, some of you could be, the way I could say it is, there's those who, there's like a lot of different ways to manifest, right? So some people are much more like in the doing, in the action type thing, and there's also those that can kind of just sit back, relax, and attract. Of course, you'll know your situation and how the energies are, but very beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead really and just put the Magician here. I typically put the bottom of the deck there, but let's just kind of get into it a little bit more. So I just want to give the cards a good shuffle because I really haven't gone through and shuffled these very well. I'm also excited though, guys. I am just working on a few things in the background for Love Death Tarot, but that's actually not what the first thing I was going to say. No, I've lost it. Well, anyway. So, I think I may have said ancestral, but today is actually going to be your as above, so below. It's been a few days since I've recorded, so bear with me. The energies feel great though. I've just been a little more, I don't know, I've definitely, here in the last week or two, I've just really felt a need to pull back my energy at this time, essentially kind of go into hermit mode, if you will. So not necessarily a bad thing, it's just like, I'm just being called to really go within at this time. That's what I was going to say. I'm glad I remembered before I got distracted about Love Death Tarot. But, I've been looking around for other decks online. This is my first and only deck that was gifted to me about 2 Christmases ago. And it wasn't until right around October, November of last year, 2024, that I really picked up the deck and started using it daily. And, here I am today. As above, Judgment in the reverse. So below, 8 of Pentacles reversed. As within, 5 of Pentacles. So without, King of Pentacles. So right off the bat, you guys are really, the focus is on the Pentacles, okay? I do feel that you're being really hard on yourself at this time, or just feeling like you're in a place. Oh yeah, Queen of Wands in the reverse here at the bottom of the deck. So I don't know, maybe you guys, you feel that you're not quite in the energy of independence that you would like. Okay, you guys still, you guys may need to, this to me is coming in as a message that you guys are going to have to go within it and take a look at your money mindset, right? Or your relationship to money, okay? Because money is essentially energy, okay? Take this as it resonates. Also, the 5 of Pentacles can speak to exclusion. Again, just take that as it resonates. I think I'll leave it there. Otherwise, I'd have to really dig in here. But maybe you are feeling left out in the cold. Maybe there's a job offer, something that didn't go through that's kind of affecting your perception of the situation or of yourself or of the energies as a whole, in terms of how you're moving forward, excuse me. I may be speaking to those of you that do currently have, pets, especially if you have a cat, possibly even like geckos. But you're just, you're in a little bit of a situation, and therefore, with the Magician coming in, like I said, it just during the pre-shuffle, actually we have the Judgment here, so, but, Major Arcana. All right, so you guys at this time are, you understand that your thoughts are affecting your current reality. Now, whatever, I'm not sure. We have the Eight of Pentacles here in the reverse. So, this could mean different things to different souls, that are a part of this collective, okay? But this is almost feeling like perhaps like you're at a, almost you feel like you're at a dead-end job. You could definitely also, I get the energies here of impatience, especially with the Magician and the Queen of Wands here. And, it's cute, it's nothing to be, it's like, most of us can say we get it, we understand that energy. But you're just feeling a lack of reward with what you're doing currently. And so you may not like what you do. You may be you may be judging the thing it is that you do itself, For example, like, is the industry that I'm working in benefiting me as a whole, benefiting society? What's my purpose on earth? I feel like you're you definitely want to leave a legacy here, guys. Again, back to the Magician. But, also here with the King of Pentacles, you guys want to create something here. You are working on attracting, but you understand at this time something needs to change. Something needs to change here with the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. This could also signify simply to take a break and rest. This does indicate that you may be too focused on your finances, or too fixated on your career at this time. So take a break, rest, and really, this is a call on you as well to tap, especially here with the Judgment in the reverse. But this is a message for you to, again, going back to being too fixated on your career and finances, like, to the detriment of other areas in your life. And essentially that's talking about your spiritual connection, or, just ascending consciousness, or however progress looks like to you here, in this human experience. But definitely, there's just little motivation in the current career that you're in, okay? So it may feel like a very tedious job to you, and some of you may feel like you're not putting in the quality energy that you could be. Again, it could be a variety of circumstances as to why. But most definitely here with the Queen of Wands in the reverse, it's, a big part of this, this, I guess, how can I put it? A big part of this feeling like you're just judging yourself harshly. Right now you're in the mind, and the mind's not happy about what's going on here in the, in the 3D in terms of career. Because again, three Pentacles cards, and your creativity is stuck right now with the one wand, the one wand card that came out for us, the Queen of Wands in the reverse. So right now, you guys, it's like there's energy there. There's something creatively brewing, but I don't know if you just don't have the energy to do so right now in this current situation, or and then what I was going to say earlier as well when I picked up the Queen of Wands is feeling like you don't have your independence in whatever it is you're doing right now with work. Okay, so you could have someone that's like super micromanagey, or just, it's just the energies are just not working for you, right? And essentially you do not feel stable in work, or in a new project. That's what I was touching on earlier. It's like perhaps you're trying to get something up off the ground, but it's just a lot of your focus has been on what's going on right now in the 3D. Okay, it's kind of keeping you stuck here, like I said, in the energy of unfocus or just stagnation. You feel like you're kind of lacking ideas even at this time. And you may be kind of distracting yourself, unbeknownst to you. You may be just, instead of taking actions on this project, right? And we were talking about the magician coming in, right? So, aligned action is incredibly important, but you just have to feel the energies, guys, out. Or, you'll get a calling, you'll get a nudge, you'll get a download, whatever it is, the universe, we all carry the ability to communicate with the universe. So essentially, however that is for you, or if you don't know how that is, just take a little bit of time to meditate, or to sit out in nature, things like that, right? And just kind of sit there and see what starts coming to you. It's really as simple as that. We just have to set the time aside, right? So, just along your path, there is a message here to be careful and not trust the first person you meet, especially if it's including people to get this project or whatever creative endeavor that you have in mind. Just be careful. As this could carry the energy of deceit, where it's like you risk being deceived. And also just for another message for some of you, just be careful. What I'm getting is like, kind of keep your plans to yourself as best as possible, right? If some of you have heard, like, when you're truly manifesting, it's best to kind of keep the energy to yourself, because really, like, the universe doesn't need help. Like, just send it out to the universe and kind of let it unfold, right? If you start kind of telling people about your plans, maybe going back to where I said, for the first time that I've said about Five of Pentacles, is like this energy of exclusion. Maybe you can go tell someone a good idea and they end up running off with that, and now you're, so just side message, but just, be careful. Again, Judgment card in the reverse as well. Be careful to trust, to just trust these people that just come waltzing in, or whatever. However that looks, just be mindful of that. So your Judgment again in the reverse. This is in the mindset. You're You could also be, something in the past has like a hold on you. You keep thinking back to the past, but understand that the past it just really does not define our future. And so very importantly here, again, with the mindset, is there's something about second chances here maybe, but if you feel like this is your second chance at something, guys, definitely, a definite message to go through with it, okay? Because again, it's whatever, you're keeping yourself stuck somehow, somehow in the mind, you're either judging yourself, putting limiting beliefs on yourself, putting things on yourself that don't align with your higher self. So just a call to meditate on that, okay? Very big message here, because again, whatever it is, it's kind of, again, keeping you in this feeling of like you're in this low, dead end energy in terms of your career or whatever it is, guys, right? Again, very general messages here. For personals, please find the link in the description. Now, let's go to the Five of Pentacles. I was talking about limiting beliefs here with the Judgment card. Okay. Five of Pentacles, again, this, you could have had a financial loss in the past as well. Maybe you tried to start a project once before and you ended up realizing, you lost money, essentially. It was not fun, but it was something that is still kind of on the back of your mind, and so you're judging it, from the lens of the past, okay? But understand, guys, that the energies are changing all the time. Energies are new and robust and fluid, and may I remind you, you have alchemical abilities with the Magician. Like, you guys absolutely can take on whatever it is, that you want to take on at this time. So don't, just be careful about getting into that, again, that mindset of feeling abandoned. Again, something about that exclusion. I don't know. It's just there in the background. It's very interesting. So if that should resonate to those of you. If I say that word, it should mean something to some of you. But don't, because the Five of Pentacles is coming in as your As Within card. That's what's, again, your soul. That's like how you, like, your kind of what you're vibrating out, okay? And what you're vibrating out right now, even, again, this could be subconsciously, but it's kind of a feeling of hardship, adversity, struggle, maybe even alienation, maybe even disgrace with the Judgment card here in the reverse. Like, really, guys, maybe you feel like, we could get into it, but, I have to remind myself, because I want to dig in, that it is really just general here. But that should be a call to some of you, if that resonates. But you've experienced work hardships. Maybe in some form or fashion, you feel like an outcast here. And maybe this is in some fashion, at the same time, kind of like, maybe some of you have, like, just recently spiritually awakened. And you're starting to realize, like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're seeing the matrix, you're seeing your place in it, and now you're like, I've been doing everything wrong. It's almost that feeling of, like, I wish I had awakened sooner. I wish I knew these things sooner. But, always a gentle reminder that things are literally happening as they should. It's don't beat yourself up, the Judgment here in the reverse, guys. And perhaps Spirit has been trying to get a hold of you, but you really haven't been taking time to necessarily, like, I feel like almost like Spirit is here trying to be like, hey, though, like, you kind of low here, and, you can co-create along with us if you'd so like, but you're going to, again, just take the time as it so resonates to work on your spirituality, on your consciousness ascension, and on raising your vibrations, guys. Commanding yourselves at the cellular level, at the atomic level, the energetic level, to transmute and to alchemize. This is a really cool card to come in for you guys, okay? So, again, back to the Five of Pentacles, it's just a reminder to, essentially, I don't know why, not get lost in the sauce, okay? Foster self-belief and have faith in your potential and your resourcefulness. As so evidently here, okay, even if you don't see it, you have the King of Pentacles, okay? This is a very, very generous financial energy, okay, pentacle energy. So right now you're simply being called to focus on what is currently abundant in your life and to practice gratitude, guys. I don't know if that's the first time you're hearing that, but I cannot tell you how incredibly true and important that is to just be grateful, as grateful as you can be, finding any good feeling thought you can in your current situation, and you're going to be able to start kind of receiving those messages from spirit, okay? And you're going to start to, essentially regain your confidence, guys, and kind of like squash this, these limiting beliefs or whatever situation, Five of Pentacles energy. But you're going to create something new here. You really are. Because what's going on here with the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse is essentially not cutting it. All right, so now let's touch then lastly on the King of Pentacles, which is coming in the upright for your sow without. But I feel like this is, it's like this is a card of I'll hold these next to each other. This King of Pentacles is like a sign of energy to come. And that sign is abundance, prosperity, security, safety, feelings of being protected. This is boss energy, like if you guys want to, be a business owner. This also speaks to sensuality and reliability. People are going to look up to you, and you're just going to lead with this beautiful, abundant energy in all areas of your life, even your romantic situations. Your patience, honesty, and loyalty will be rewarded. At this time, ensure you practice practical actions, as that will lead you to success. Okay, so you're being asked right now to be practical. Again, take that as it resonates, everyone. And we're going to pull an advice card. But definitely a big call to work on that judgment, okay? Very interesting. So we have the Queen of Pentacles. It actually landed right over the King of Pentacles. And I'll just hold this up like this. So I'm definitely just feeling like there's alignment needed, back to when I was talking about like your relationship to money. Because, especially with the, let's go back here, when I was saying that, like, I feel like your spirit is trying to call out to you, is trying to give you your abundance, because you truly, the energy is here for you to have it. I don't feel like I explained that as profoundly or as impactfully as I would have liked, but almost like if you've heard a term, like, it's like, this is your birthright. This is your freaking birthright, okay? To be fully abundant in all areas, love, career, and finance. Okay? Now, so that's for you to have, but right now you're kind of in the, I guess we could say you're kind of in the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Again, there's just something here that's keeping you, that's really, it's again, the energy's here, but you need to tweak something. This is what needs to be tweaked. Let's see. Definitely I would work on feelings of insecurity, especially with that Judgment in the reverse. The Queen of Wands, really speaks to a lack of confidence right now in yourselves, or creative blocks as well. So really work on whatever's, like, making you feel like you're unsure about something, That's, like, take a look at that. Especially when it comes to whatever it is you want to change about your career, or, again, if you're wanting to start something of your own. I feel that you may pay excessive attention to the little things instead of perhaps doing what is really of value. Again, we were talking about aligned action, so, but I feel it's a very powerful message there. And just understand, guys, that whether it be greed or carelessness, that those energies can lead to problems. You could have dealt with a bad business partner in the past, or currently have unreliable or jealous colleagues. There could be a little bit of money mismanagement right now in your current reality. But, alternatively, okay, this is also a sign that things are moving in your favor. The energies are going toward, it's essentially that if this resonates, if you have been going through a period of stress or anxiety, the Queen of Pentacles reversed is a reminder, and we talked about this, to tend to your inner garden, okay? All right, tend to your inner garden, and be compassionate and gentle with yourselves at this time as you move forward, okay? But again, work on, there's something that's a little bit out of alignment here, okay, in terms of your relationship to money. So the energies are slowly, I would say, transmuting, changing, and dare I say, for the better. But just, keep mindful of the messages that stood out to you in this reading. And I wish you all the best. I'll see you in the next video.